Hi, welcome to Retired People's Club. My name's Chris Gosling. This is the 5th of November and this is our first attempt at making a regular online show for Retired People's Club. What's Retired People's Club? Well, let me first of all say that by being the age you are, you can be a member. There's no charge, there's no entry fee, there's nothing that you have to do. If you're 60, 55 or older, then you're a member anyway. Over the coming few weeks, you're going to get 4 or 5 or maybe more short clips and programs every week. Some of those will be pre-recorded like this one, and some will be live so that you'll be able to actually interact with us as you go along and as we cover the topics. Retired People's Club programs will be a mix of news, information, some bits of fun and entertainment, some general interest stuff and things that actually are very relevant to people of our age. We'll be looking, for instance, at things like pensions from our own point of view. We'll be looking at things like politics, for goodness sake, from our own point of view, and looking at what we want from politicians. If you've got views, then this could be a good place to express them. If you have a phone with a camera, then we'll welcome your video and we'll play it on regular programs. You can also get involved with shows by joining us on Facebook and sometimes on YouTube to actually make comments as we're running along. And if we can, we'll pick those comments up and talk about those as well and get more people involved. The big idea really with Retired People's Club is to provide an interesting online place for older people to go. It's not designed to make money, although we will be looking at some products if we get the chance, and we'll be looking at some services. We'll be looking at holidays, we'll be looking at short budget breaks, we'll be looking at all kinds of stuff that interest all kinds of people. For the first thing that we're going to look at on this show, we've got a gastroenterologist, a man called Dr. Simon Gabe, who's actually talking about older people and malnutrition. In the UK, Dr. Gabe says 1 in 10 retired people are suffering from malnutrition. Here's the man himself.
About 1 in 10 people over 65 are malnourished. There are lots of telltale signs that you might look for. And those can be that your clothes get a bit looser, your rings get a bit looser, you decrease in your exercise tolerance, you can't manage the stairs so well. There are lots of different aspects. At Bapen we've created a screening tool as a self-screening tool in order to be able to find out if you have got a problem or if a family member of yours has got a problem. And that's at www.bapen.org.uk. You'll get linked through to that screening. When you put your data in there, you'll be able to find out if you're at high risk, medium risk or low risk. There's dietary advice and general advice that will come with that, but otherwise, if you do come into a risk category, I would say it's important to seek professional advice. What is surprising is that 45% of the British public feel that losing weight in later life is a normal part of ageing. And I think that's one of the bits that we want to unpick a little bit. We want to bust that myth that it doesn't necessarily follow. There can be lots of reasons for losing weight and people can have medical conditions, but it can be dealt with and treated. What you want to do is, first of all, screen and find out whether you do fall into a risk category, but ultimately it will be about trying to have more calories in, more protein in, more vitamins in. A balanced nutritional input is really important. The headlines have been a little bit about eating more cake. It isn't just about that. It is actually getting protein and vitamins at the same time. So balanced nutrition in. Snacks, little and often. When you're elderly, your appetite tends to decrease, your tolerance of large meals decreases. So having in between snacks is actually a good thing when you're underweight. Having a bedtime snack is also good. I think one of the key bits is look out for others. As a population, it's really important that we do that. Think if they're being isolated, if they're lonely, if their mood's low, if they're losing weight, are their clothes getting looser, for example. The other thing you can do is help them with self-screening. You go to the website www.bapen.org.uk, click through to the self-screening part of it, and you can put in their height, weight and change in weight and see if they fall into a risk category. And then I suppose also it will be, if they do fall into a risk category, it will be to help them seek medical advice.
So there you have it. I've just actually done the test myself at the website. The website address is www.bapen.org.uk, and you there navigate to self-test or self-screen, and you literally only have to fill in your weight and your height and whether you're gaining or losing weight over the past few months. It then comes back to you with a BMI, which in my instance tells me I'm somewhat overweight, but not obese, I'm glad to say. But it does say that I'm at very low risk of malnutrition. I guess the reality is that with 1 in 10 older people being malnourished, it's a worthwhile test to undertake yourself, even if you don't feel that you're undernourished and you are a bit on the skinny side. It's just natural for some people. So there you have it. Give that a go and see what you think.
Tell us what you'd like to know more about on Retired People's Club, and let us know what you think about the world around us. You can contact us at any time through these web pages: retiredpeoplesclub.blogspot.com, www.facebook.com/retiredpeoplesclub, www.youtube.com/retiredpeoplesclub, twitter.com/retiredpeoplesclub, email production@seriousleisure.co.uk, or voice or text message us on 07943 043 948. If you have a story to tell that may help other retired people, we'd love to hear from you.
If you've got a topic that you'd like to know more about that's relevant to being a bit older, then get in touch with me anytime. You can contact us on Facebook, through Twitter, or by email, or on YouTube as well, come to that, and let us know what interests you and what concerns you. If we can find out more and if we can tell you more, we will do so. From my point of view as an old journalist, I find it relatively easy to get information about any kind of topic, so get in touch and we'll do our best to answer questions. One of the things I said earlier in the show is that we try to get a bit of fun going where we can. A few months ago we were in Norwich and we happened to be sitting eating an ice cream while this young man was entertaining us.
The only thing that gets me down is gravity. And if you don't believe me, come and follow me. The only thing that gets me down is gravity. And if you don't believe me, come and follow me. What? Let's get a little deeper, let's get some of mine. There's something that we're going to do, I think all the time. It's a competition, you're saying, come on, shot. It's taking me a while to be Paramount sound, but now here I am, singing it out loud, because I'm watching the move in the weather all I can. Slowly and surely, the weather will pass, so when the sun comes out, you better make it last. But it doesn't matter if the sun doesn't come out, because you have to realise, thank you, that's very kind of you, that the only thing that gets us down is gravity. The only thing that gets me down is gravity. Oh, yeah. Oh my God, it's the truth of the garden. Ah! Oh my God. It's all right. That's what the bit of wood was for. Again, if anyone's got any plastic foliage for the foliage garden, please add. Let's get ready for Christmas. That's true. But like I was saying about that thing I'm not, is let's get a little deeper, let's get some of mine. Just another bug, I'm little finger all the time. It's a confidence thing, you see him cover by a shot. Thinking me what to be Paramount sound, but now here I am, singing it out loud, because I'm watching the different from the weather all around. Slowly and surely, the weather will pass, so when does it come out, you gotta make it last. But I don't remember if you know what I said before about the only thing that gets us down really is gravity. The only thing that gets me down is gravity. And if you don't believe me, come and follow me. The only thing that gets me down is gravity. If you don't believe me, come and follow me. sorry, so let's get down with another little story. The only thing that gets me down is gravity. That's the one.
And that's the amazing Pirate Joe, who's based in Norwich. You can find more about Pirate Joe's gigs and events in Norwich by taking a look at his Facebook page, which is just here. And that's it for this first edition of Retired People's Club. We'll be back tomorrow with more stuff, and tomorrow we'll be live, so you can tell us what you like and you can tell us what you want to see more of, or maybe less of, I don't know. We'll wait and see. So I'm looking forward to doing a live show with you and getting your comments and your views on the world in general, and on Retired People's Club, and on what we're doing, and we'll see how we go. Don't forget, if you have ideas for shows, if you have ideas for content, I'd love to hear from you. Just get in touch. Okay, just talking about a couple of things that will be coming up in the next few days on Retired People's Club. One of the things that we want to do something about is tattoos. I was walking through our little local town the other day, and someone said to me, well, look at that lady, she looks lovely with those tattoos. They look good, and they did look good, but she was a young lady, and you wonder what they're going to look like when she gets older. I do. I know that may be politically incorrect, but it's how I feel about it. So if you're an older person who's got tattoos, if you've had them recently, if you had them a long time ago, what do they look like now? Send us your photos. I'd love to see them, and you can have your 2 minutes of fame on this channel. The other thing we're going to talk about is this. It's kind of the unspeakable subject, but it is a subject that lots of people really ought to be talking about. I was talking to an ambulance person the other day, and that person said one of the scariest things is what can happen if you die unexpectedly. For instance, this ambulance person gave the story of an old lady who was in her mid-90s. She went to bed with a cup of tea at about 8 o'clock, and at 10 o'clock, when someone looked in at her, she was dead. She was peaceful and laying in her bed. Nothing was disturbed. She hadn't thrashed about or had any kind of problem. She looked as if she'd simply died quietly as she slept. And yet, within 10 minutes, she was dragged onto the floor and was given CPR, which obviously didn't work. That's completely undignified and completely unnecessary. We want to talk about death in the UK as it applies to people who die maybe unexpectedly, maybe expectedly. And let's get the story straight. I would like to die with dignity, and I think you would as well. So let's look at this one. We'll look at it over the next few days and see where our story goes. That's it. I'm Chris. This is Retired People's Club. I'll see you soon.